Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome in Salesforce Epics Hour. Today, we are going to start the MuleSoft 101 session where you will learn about building your first integration with the MuleSoft. And we have a great speaker, Akshita, with us. So, let me hand over her for her introduction and the presentation.
Thank you so much, Amit, for having me here again. I'm so excited to be here. I'm sure the last one went really well, and that's the reason I'm here as well. The one about building agents with MuleSoft and Agent Force. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us again here. And today we're going to learn about MuleSoft 101, building your first integration with MuleSoft. So we'll be covering everything about MuleSoft. If you're someone who's a beginner who want to get started with MuleSoft journey and is wondering what exactly is MuleSoft, so you're at the right place, and we'll show you everything about MuleSoft that you need to know. Okay, with that, just a forward looking statement because I'm confident about myself. I'm going to bring up products that are still in progress at our in building stage. So make sure you make your purchasing decision based on the products that are available in the market today. Speak to your customer executive as well. And yeah, a brief introduction about myself. I'm Akshata Sawan, developer advocate at Salesforce. And as you know, you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm currently based in London. And yeah, if there's anything around MuleSoft, around Agent Force that you would like to chat about, I'm happy to connect with you. I'm also a blogger and author. I've recently co authored a book, MuleSoft for Salesforce Developer. The second edition is out, and I'll share the link discount codes towards the end of the session with you all to make the most of it. Okay. With that, let's get started. The Agent Force slide came up. I'm sure you must be wondering that why is Agent Force here? Because we are expecting MuleSoft. So please hold on and trust me, I will get through MuleSoft. But let's get the concept like from the agentic perspective as well. So today we are in the agentic era or AI world, I would say, and it's really rapidly progressing. So with this agentic world, like Salesforce has done a lot in the agentic world. There are a lot of MuleSoft capabilities as well. But how does it all fits in? So I'll give you an example here. So if you see a conversation here where the customer is asking the chat agent, the chatbot that agent has, basically the agent, AI agent, or you can say agent force agent, and the agent replies that the order has been delayed and it needs to be cancelled out. So this is happening because, and the only option possible here is that the order has to be cancelled, and this is happening because agent does not have access to the other external end systems or maybe external APIs, external systems to give you an order resolution, maybe to give you some other suggestions. So in order to agent for an agent to take actions, agents need access to your third party system, to your enterprise system, to your APIs. And APIs are the medium that's going to be that this is going to be possible in the most seamless way. So, with API, agent can take actions across any systems. They can bring in data that is present in silos. And MuleSoft here is going to help you simplify the process, make the process more seamless with all the capabilities that it has. And today, that's what we're going to do in the session. We'll go through all the capabilities. We'll see how MuleSoft will help us and it will fit right in the agentic AI era. So, what exactly is MuleSoft? That comes a basic question. I have been doing these sessions for like almost 7 or maybe 8 years now. It's been like long time that I have been talking about MuleSoft. And when I started giving sessions or maybe presentation back in 2018, 2019, I would say that MuleSoft is more like a ESB system. It's an iPaaS services. It helps you build entire API management lifecycle. Then going forward in 2022 or 2023, maybe the definition kind of changed and I was more inclined towards automation. That, hey, it's not just about APIs or integrations, it's more than that. There is automation, we have RPA, we have Composer, we have so many automation tools to help you automate your process, to take away the manual tasks. And now I would say that it has changed again. That change is the only constant thing, right? So, yeah, now it would say that it's a unified platform that helps you build from pro code to no code tool for agent actions. So, do you see how agent has come into the picture? Because that's where we are all heading as well. So with MuleSoft, you can build agent-ready foundations. You can automate, orchestrate your agent. You can invoke your agents from MuleSoft. You can take actions with your agents. You can connect with MCP servers. You can protect your A2A MCP servers with MuleSoft. And along with that, the core capability is again remains the same. You can manage your entire API lifecycle with MuleSoft. That is from building stage, designing your API, implementing your API, securing your API, managing your API, building Mule applications, deploying them, hosting them on the Cloud Hub or your runtime engine, managing them after your production as well, making sure, like with the help of anypoint monitoring. So there are a lot of things. Basically, everything that you need under API management lifecycle is there within MuleSoft, and that is something that you can leverage it out. So, yeah, that is pretty much all about MuleSoft. And throughout this course of this entire session, we'll see what are the components. And trust me, there's a lot, but you do not need to overwhelm with it because we'll just go through the basics and we'll get it covered. So, moving ahead, let's take a closer look at MuleSoft. And that's when I want you. Please don't be overwhelmed because there are definitely a lot of capabilities, a lot of options that you can see, but it depends what you're exactly trying to achieve and what's your use case. For example, for the foundations, like you can see, we have the tools like Anypoint Exchange, monitoring, security, Cloud Hub on-premise deployment. I mean, these are some of the fundamental or functional things that you will be accessing. Then you also have a lot of accelerators. You have a lot of like what do we call it? Some templates available for you to build something that is. I mean, you don't have to build everything from scratch. So you have topics and accelerators, some templates that you can make use of. Then, when it comes to integration and automation part, the most when it comes to integration, mainly let's focus on the integration bit of it. So we have two IDEs, Anypoint Code Builder, which is the newest IDE. It is available on your VS Code and also on cloud via Anypoint platform. And you have Anypoint Studio, which is the oldest IDE. I mean, the one that we have been using for several years. Okay, both of them function similar, but with Anypoint Code Builder, you get a lot of latest features like Agent Force for developers, Einstein assistants, MCP, topic center support, and all of those things. Moving ahead, we also have some low code, no code tools that will help you with automations. Suppose if you're someone who's not into coding and who would like to go ahead with the low code tools, you can make use of these tools like robotic process automations, RPA, IDP, intelligent document processing for like scanning your document. And there is a whole lot of suite in there. There is something for partner manager, B2B, and EDI systems. There are industry level accelerators, and there is something for you to connect with Salesforce as well directly, like data loader and the MuleSoft Direct. Apart from this, we have got this API management capabilities that are something I'm pretty much very fond of because you can manage your entire API lifecycle under one frames. Like suppose if you're having hundreds and thousands of APIs, but they're all scattered and they are on different platforms. But you want to bring all of this API under one frame. Like if you could be having one API that is built with Ruby, one is built with Python, and they're hosted on different environments, but you still want all of these APIs to be like governed, managed, secured under one place. You can bring them under MuleSoft's Anypoint API Manager and you can govern them. We also have different types of gateways that will help you manage these APIs. Apart from this, yeah, this is all about the API manager. So you can see like there are different suites that are present and you can like choose what is your use case, what is it that you want to go ahead with. Okay. Moving ahead, um, yeah, what is exactly that we achieve with MuleSoft, how to develop an API, what is exactly everything about. So if you can see, there are different stages like design phase, deployment, manage, and monitor. These are basically the fundamental stages of an API development lifecycle. So now in the session, we'll go through each of these stages and we'll deep dive into the stages and see what are the components, capabilities that we have from MuleSoft in order to achieve them. Okay, so let's get started. The first one, that is design phase, basically designing an API. So you can design your API on any point platform. You can design your API on your studio as well, like on any point code builder. Okay. Once you're done designing your API, basically you're designing an API in OAS specification or RAML specification. But currently OAS is more preferred because it has a lot of compatibility with Salesforce, and it's quite well accepted as well. It goes very well with Data Cloud because there is like a lot of compatibility basically. So we would recommend OS specification. And even if you're someone who has never designed an API, I mean, literally never designed an API, you have something like in Design Center. You can directly go ahead and just fill in the form. Like when you're creating an API, you can just type in the details, and an API will be created for you side by side. I think I've also published a few videos around how to design an API, even if you're completely new to API design. I'll make sure I share them with you guys in this video as well. Okay. The next one is implementing an API. Basically, the one API that you have designed, you'll just scaffold the API. Okay. You'll scaffold it and build a mule application. Okay. Scaffolded in the sense, and developing an integration, it kind of comes under the same part. So you'll be implementing an API, scaffolding an API, adding transformation logic to API, connecting the application with different end systems. Like suppose if you have implemented your API, you'll connect it with different end systems. That could be suppose you're connecting with Salesforce, Workday, or any other end system. We can do that. So that's all about design phase. And in the next section, yeah, this is the Anypoint Code Builder, the newest IDE that I told you about. So it's new because it's recently introduced, like a couple of years ago, and it has all the beautiful features. You do not have to write any code. It's low code, no code. It's based on the VS Code, and so it makes it easier for Salesforce developers as well to like get onboarded. Okay, you can design, develop, deploy application, everything from one single IDE. And you can also integrate it with like connect with agents and have your agentic interactions with MuleSoft applications. And what's new is like you also have, if you see the Einstein here, so you have Agentforce for developers here as well, which will help you to you can ask in some questions and you'll get the answers, or you get in like proper request, response, all the formats. So this is Anypoint Code Builder for you. And again, it's available on cloud as well from Anypoint platform, or it's available on your VS Code. So, and it's really easy to install. You just have to go to your app store or the marketplace and search in for Anypoint Code Builder extension. And that's all. You'll have your Anypoint Code Builder added to your VS Code. Okay. So let's see a demo wherein we'll see like okay, how exactly you can work with the Anypoint Code Builder. So this is the home screen or the landing page of the Anypoint Code Builder. And if you see here, we have three actions like design, implement, and develop an integration. So we have selected design an API, and we're designing an API integration. And let me just pause this thing for a minute. Okay. If you see over here, there is also an option to like enable this API for agent action and agent topic, which means that if you have enabled this option, the checkbox, it will help you to create topics, agent actions, everything while you're designing your API. Again, I have also I have a different video for this one as well. I'll make sure I share it with Amit and you all get the resources well in time. So that will help you to basically create agent topics and actions. And that's all. Once it is done, you'll go ahead, you can start designing your API. And for the ones who does not know how to design an API, we also have a different support where you have to just fill in the information. And I have defined in some API paths, request, methods, everything that you want in your OS API specification. Okay. So once that is done, you have governance rule sets. So basically, what are governance rule sets? Let me just pause on the video so that doesn't become. So if you can see here, there are different types of governance rule sets like Anypoint best practices, API documentation, asynchronous APIs, and all of this. And you can also create your own your own rule set from scratch. So this is to ensure that your API is other like is following all the rules and regulations. For example, let me give an example. So we have this Anypoint best practices, but your organization could be having their own best practices for designing their API, and a new developer joins in and he misses one of the best practices. But if you have the governance rule sets, so and if the new developer, if he misses one of the best practices, you won't be allowed to publish the API, or maybe it will be giving you conformance issues, that that the API is not conformant, it's not following the rule sets. So that's when you know that your API is not following the rule sets, and because the rule set has been applied. So you have a lot of best practices, security rule sets that needs to be added to your API. And this is all part of API governance. That's a different capability again altogether, but you have it inbuilt while you're designing your API. Okay. So you can further go ahead and select I have selected Mule API management best practices, HTTP enforcement. So you can just go ahead and select and add the rule set to your API. Okay. Once it is done, you can also go ahead and you can test out the rule set if it is working fine, um, if everything looks good. And my API is currently, you can see the green check that it has passed the governance rule set. Okay. After that, I can also go ahead and I can also test out all the endpoints. So I have created certain endpoints. So basically, I'm simulating my API. I'm creating a ticket. I can check. Like, this is not an exact response that I'm getting from the backend. This is just a simulation. So basically, you'll get to know, is my API following the standards? If it is the correct response request that I want, and that's what it is expected. You can also share it with your colleagues, with your stakeholders, with the project managers, and get your API approved before building your Mule application. So this is where you're following the API first approach. Okay, so I have saved it, and then I'll be like implementing the Mule application as well. So yeah, it is scaffolding. So once I'm done building my API, once it is all validated and everything is fine, I'll go ahead and I'll scaffold my API. I'll select the latest runtime version. Okay, and it is downloading all the dependencies and it is creating a new Mule project. Okay, and if you can see, a new Mule project has been created. Yeah, SRC main test, Mule ID. And it has given you the proper flow as well, the proper GUI interface. You can navigate to different flows. You can see which method do you want to implement. Further, you can go ahead and add in your transformation logic, your integration logic. You can connect with different end systems. We have several connectors, like around 300 or maybe more, 350 or 400 connectors, from which you can choose. You can connect with different end systems. The newest one that is not present here, I guess, is MCP and Agentforce connector. We'll be doing some Twitch streams, videos, live streams as well, and some recordings on the Salesforce developer channel. If you're interested, you can watch them. Okay, so here I've added a Zendesk connector. Similarly, you can go ahead and add in any connector, and you do not have to write any line of code. But if you see, it will be written for you in the backend. All you have to do, just do the configuration. You can add in some variables. You can add in the credentials, the configuration details, in the add configuration section. So here I'm creating a ticket that needs to be updated, and I'm accessing the global configuration to add a new configuration. Basically, I need to give credentials. In case of a Salesforce connector that you're connecting, you need to give your um, client ID, client secret, and the connections that is required, like the authentication. So yeah, this is the authentication that is required. I've already provided the details in the in the application properties file, and hence they are secured. I can just use them here. But if you're hard coding, that is not advisable. But if you're hard coding, you would have to give the properties. All right. And this is all pretty much about Anypoint Code Builder. Okay. The newest IDE again. And moving on to the next one. With that, we have actually covered the design phase where we have seen how to design an API, how to implement an API, how to scaffold it, how to build an integration out of it. Once we're done building the API, Mule application, and everything, the next part would be deploying the application to Cloud Hub. Okay, so Cloud Hub 2.0 is the newest runtime. engine, you would say runtime, the hosting environment where you get a lot of capabilities, where you get a lot of options, over to the previous one, which is Cloud Hub. Okay, so under the hood, it's actually AWS EC2 instances where you can go ahead, like where you go ahead and deploy. Apart from this, you also have runtime fabric. You have different types of uh, support, like when it comes to, you also have this, what do we call it, hybrid standalone runtime. That's for sure. Let me just take you to the demo so that I can recall as well everything that you have, because there are a lot of features and sometimes get difficult to remember. So Cloud Hub 2.0, the next stage of MuleSoft, it is fully managed iPaaS. It is has high availability as compared to the its predecessor, the Cloud Hub, and its enterprise readiness integrated with AWS. That's when I said, under the hood you have AWS EC2 instances. So right ones deploy anywhere. You can deploy right from your AnyPoint code builder, and it will be deployed on your Cloud Hub. So all the task around deployment, the management, or maybe managing your infrastructure is taken away with the help of Cloud Hub 2.0. But if you want, you can also host your applications on your own environment. It could be Heroku, it could be your standalone runtime, or you could do a hybrid as well, like managing on Cloud Hub and deploying it on your own environment. That's possible as well. So there are a lot of features depending that suits your use case. So yes, we have a demo again that'll, once we're done building the Mule application, we'll now go ahead and deploy it to Cloud Hub. So Control Shift P and say deployment to Cloud Hub. You can select the deployment target, the environment. It's usually sandbox production, similar to what you guys must be doing already. So my project is like, it's building up the project. It'll publish the project to Exchange, which is more like a repository where you have all the assets, template, accelerators, and everything at one place. So once it is deployed on Cloud Hub, you can go to Runtime Manager, where you can see the status of the application. So over here, that's what I was saying. It's not just deploying your application. You can manage different servers that you have hosted on locally. You can also have flex gateways, different types of gateways to manage your application, alerts. Maybe towards the end, I'll just show you what are the new features that we have for MCP A2A as well. Okay, can manage your VPCs, load balancers, private spaces, and whatnot. And you can see the deployment target type. Once you go into a particular application, you also get the public endpoint, the public URL. And currently, this application is up and running. Okay, you can select the deployment runtime engine. You have ingress to take care of the uh, deployment option along with the Kubernetes features, private runtime spaces. You can have different properties, keys that you can add in over here, and you can do some monitoring. You can enable further log, like for tracing, and this is also going to be helpful when you're doing it with agents or agent force to help you trace all the logs. Okay. So we have now seen how to design an application. We have also covered the second bit, which is around deploying. We have seen how to deploy an application right from your studio, your code builder to Cloud Hub. Okay. The third bit is managing. Once you're done designing and deploying, we'll have to manage our application post production as well, or even when it is in like the pre production stage. So, what comes basically under managing is securing your application, governing your application, and for this, you're going to make use of API Manager, where you can go ahead and add in security policies. Okay. So no matter where your application is hosted or what it has been built with, you can basically deploy any application on your Cloud Hub or on your runtime, on your API manager with MuleSoft. So even if you have deployed your application somewhere else, but you still want it to be managed, or basically now, currently, if you want to manage your A2A servers or MCP servers, you want to protect your LLMs, okay, you can still do it with API manager. So let's see how. So basically, we have this two gateways. There is a third one that has been newly added, like 3 4 months ago, like in March this year, 2025. So that is managed Flex Gateway. I have recently done a session around Flex Gateway, managed Flex Gateway, and around Heroku as well. So maybe that will give you a better understanding of all these gateways. And the governance rule sets, the API rule sets, we have already seen that how we applied a governance rule set to make sure your API is conforming to particular standards, particular regulations. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a further look like about API manager. So what exactly is happening with an API manager? So API manager or API gateway basically, if you're not already familiar with the term API gateway, what it does, for example, if there could be a watchman or a gatekeeper, okay, for your building or for your organization, so he's going to ensure that you have an ID card or you have a valid access to every to enter the premises, to enter the organization. Okay, so that's more like an API gateway who's going to ensure that you have the valid access your API, to access the endpoints, the end system. So whenever there is a request to your API, to your end system via API gateway is going to be in the middle as a gatekeeper. It will check for your credentials, for your authenticity, for your all your tokens and everything. Only if you have access, it will grant you access to the backend or the end system. That is all the purpose of API gateway. And see, in the world of AI and the agentic era, like with a lot of information that has been exchanged, data that has been exchanged, we have to be more and more careful with the security. And security is definitely not going to be just important, it's going to be like critical, to be honest. So that's wherein Flex Gateway, Mule Gateway, and all the capabilities of API Manager will be really like relevant or more relevant than before. So as you can see, you can authenticate and authorize your API access. You can apply some SLA limits. You can rate limiting, and all as well. You can define some contract for your clients. You can group your API, club your API, and then apply some security policies. And if your organization has a particular requirement, you can build a security policy right from scratch. That's possible as well. So let's go ahead and see this demo in which you'll see like how exactly API Manager works. So we'll go into API Manager from your Anypoint platform. I'll give you the resources towards the end, how it works. So URL add in my API. I can create two gateways, Mule Gateway or Flex Gateway. So what is the difference between two? Okay. For simplicity, if you have application that is deployed on Cloud Hub, okay, Mule application built using MuleSoft, deployed on Cloud Hub, super safe, super simple, then you have Mule Gateway. But if you have your application deployed somewhere else and you want to have the gateway on your end system, okay, you have basically your servers, you have your app, you want to take care of the infrastructure. In that case, you can go ahead with the Flex Gateway. Now we have the third option, which is not present here, but it's like new. So that is Manage Flex Gateway. With that, if you have your application that is built using anything or like any language or any specification, any function technology, but you want it to be like deployed, managed entirely on API Manager on MuleSoft's platform. You do not want to take care of the, you want these features of API Manager. So you have the Flex Gateway, which has the best of both the Mule Gateway and the Flex Gateway. Flex Gateway is supposed to be like ultra fast, super fast gateway. So with Managed Flex Gateway, you also have that speed. Like it's an ultra fast gateway that will give you fast response time. Um, and it's going to be like super fast basically. But you do not have to manage it in your infrastructure. You have like cloud API manager taking care of it. Then you can go for managed Flex Gateway. So that is basically the difference. Let's go ahead. So here I'll go ahead and I'll select the API that I've just published, the IT manager, the one we added the Zendesk connector. So here I have added, and I'll just select next. I can also give it some URLs downstream, upstream if I want to. Okay. For the upstream one, I provided the Cloud Hub URL. Okay. And that's all. It's done. I've just created a basic gateway with a basic endpoint. Now, if you see the type, if I've also got the API instance ID, inside the policies, I have different types of policies that are already present. But apart from that, you can also create your own policy with the help of policy development kit that involves bit of Ruby language. Okay. And I can select the policy, I can just configure it on the go. So you can see how security has been made easy as well. You don't have to write anything, any code from scratch. And you can apply this policy to a particular method. You can add it to all the methods through your API, or a particular method to particular endpoint. So you can customize it as per your requirement, because basically not all the methods are going to need some security policy. For example, if there is an endpoint like just get weather information, that does not require some high level security policy. But if there is an information around some getting some customer data, that a post requirement, a post or maybe a get as well, it might need some authentication levels. So it depends on which method you want to provide more security, or which one do you want to like completely escape. So you can do all of that stuff here. Okay. And API management or API security is more of the topic that is like pretty much close to my heart, and I can actually go on speaking about it for a long time. If you're interested more in this topic, you can check out a few of my videos about zero trust security as well. How we can implement zero trust security with MuleSoft using the APIs, using all the policies that we have already. So here I'm going ahead and just selecting rate limiting policy. I'll add in the number of requests that are allowed, and after how much requests it should go the timeout, so that you do not get the attack, the DDoS attack and all. Okay. So I have selected the time unit, and you can do the advanced configuration as well. I'm just applying this to all the API methods and resources. And within minutes, I have applied like two different policies to my API. And with that, we have also covered three bits. Okay, that was too much, right? I'm sorry. But now we just have the last bit, that is monitoring. So let's go ahead and see, like, definitely everyone needs monitoring to trace logs, to for troubleshooting. So what all do we have for monitoring? Let's go ahead and see that. So with anypoint monitoring, as you can see, there are some beautiful graph charts. So you can build those dashboards as well for yourself, or you can use the standard ones. You get insights. You can get all the response time, your message time. If you can see something spooky going around, you can have those logs. If there is, you can set some threshold value as well. And if a particular parameter crosses that value, you would be notified via alerts on emails or your group DLs as well. So this is something that you can definitely use for monitoring. You also can connect different external tools like Splunk, ELK, and all as well. But if you want the something in built in, this is the anypoint monitoring features that are available for you. So yes, let's go ahead and see what all do we have in for monitoring through the demo. So again, for the anypoint, did I pause this one? I'm sorry, yeah, I did. Okay. So I'll go into anypoint monitoring from the anypoint platform again. And if you can see, I can select the resource name, my API name that I've deployed. Okay, which instance do I want to monitor or view? We have some new stuff that is coming in. Our telemetry exporter, I think it's already out. Okay. So you can see the errors, you can see the response time, response time. You can have your own custom. This is something like built-in dashboard, but you can also customize your dashboard as per your requirements. What are the things that you want to see or take into consideration? We have something like insights, and this is pretty much new for me as well. I haven't not much have used it because yeah, you can see the error volume, request volume, the error rates, what are the number of requests, and yeah, basically everything that's needed or associated with logging. And if there is something that is not currently here for you, then you can just go ahead and build in the custom dashboard as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all about logging monitoring. You can see different assets, different volume of requests that we have been getting, all the entity metrics. Let's go ahead and see the metrics. So this is we have had this features traditionally, but I think they have added in a lot of more features. Um, Telemetry exporter is something new that has not been tried. So yeah, this is something new. Maybe you can go ahead and try out the telemetry exporter as well and build in your logs. So yeah, cool. Okay. So I guess we have covered most of the part which is around MuleSoft, like which is around the different stages, designing, deploying, and then we also have the monitoring, managing and monitoring. So I would just like to give you a summary, and then again we'll go back because we have some time. We'll just go back to our VS Code studio, and where we'll see like how to actually like how does it exactly work and everything. So, again, to give you a brief overview, what is MuleSoft? It's a unified low code, no code platform for agent action. I'm no longer saying it's an ESB or an iPaaS tool because we have so much in the agentic era and there is so much that has been changed. But one thing that remains constant, it helps you manage your entire API lifecycle. You have everything you need for your integrations, your API lifecycle management at one place. Okay. Further, you can also automate processes. You can build your own automations. You can make the most of your uh, automations with the help of IDP, with the RPA, with MuleSoft for Flow. Yes, there's so much more. And you can also build an agent ready foundation. You can leverage the capabilities of Topic Center, API catalog within MuleSoft. So basically, you're exposing your MuleSoft APIs as agents, agent topics, agent actions that has embedded in it. And with the help of API catalog, you can make them discoverable and further invoke them via agent. So that's another topic altogether. And I have done a few videos and blogs on it. Maybe you can check it out towards the end. I'll share the link again. Okay. Let me now come to VS Code. So this is the VS Code, and for this, you need to just go into your marketplace and you can type in any point code builder. So this is your regular VS Code, okay? And this is the API extension that you have. You just have to install it. And with that, you can see the symbol like MuleSoft. Okay. Go to your home page. And here, if you can see, you have three options quick in the quick actions: design an API, implement an API, and develop an API integration. So, implementing, and developing will mainly do the same thing, but what's the difference? So, after you design an API, like we designed in the first fragment, if you're scaffolding an API, that would be called as implementing an API. But if you're building something right from scratch, that would be called as developing an integration. So let me go into the third bit, that is developing an integration. Let me write project name as Apex Rs demo. Okay. And I'm selecting and creating an empty project, Mule runtime, creating a project. Okay. It will give me a Mule project already. And just give it some more time to load it. We can go into SRC, Mule, the XML. Okay. And if you can see the graphical version of the flow, let me click on that. So it gives me a UI version. Let me open it again. Yeah, it's here. Okay. Don't save. Okay. So here, if you can see, we actually have different features like create an MCP server, connect to an agent, build with flow with agent force, or start from scratch. And if you see all these things, then the three of them, they're really new, like connecting with MCP server or an agent or building a flow with agent force. So I haven't tried all of them yet, but I would definitely recommend you to try it out because it's free. It's all in your VS Code, and you can go ahead and try it out. But for today, we'll just build a simple flow, start from scratch. And yes, we have a flow here. We can give our flow a name. Okay. Here I can just edit it out and give a name as main flow. All right. If you see there are plus signs everywhere, like this is for error handling session, this is for main section. I can also go ahead and visit to different flows, navigate to different flow. But currently I just have one flow. So I'll just go ahead and click on this tab. I can add in some connectors like HTTP request listener or just listener basically. Okay. Yes. And so while I was adding in connector, definitely I can go ahead and configure as well. I can go into connection configuration, click on plus symbol, and give it some host name like maybe localhost or 0.0.0 and the port as 8081. You can do your configuration um, as per required. I can give it some path as well, like test endpoint. This is something like super simple for demo purpose. Okay. So, and that's all. I have just configured a connector. But if you see, I haven't written any single line of code. But in the backend, it's actually writing the code for me. And it seems there are some errors that can be resolved. Okay. So once we have this connector, if you can see where we have different types of other connectors as well. So there are a lot of connectors that are present. You can see Salesforce connectors. We have several types of Salesforce connector that you can just drag and drop. You have to just bring them over. You have to do the configurations. Okay. Uh, for the Salesforce, you can just select the type. You can do some configurations. You have to write in your credentials, basic authentication, your username, your password, a security token, and everything. You can also go ahead with other authentication that you have associated with your Salesforce account. And that's pretty much all. So it is that simple to just drag and drop any connector and build in your integration. So you're actually focusing on more on like integration tools. Apart from this, something new that I wanted to show you guys, we have the AI and the MCP agent connector. So with the AI connectors, you can actually start a conversation with the agent. Like you can start an agent conversation and an agent conversation. You can start keep asking agent question. So if you are getting some payload from a different end system, you can further pass it over to agent, and then you'll get the response that you can pass it over to your client again. So this is like something different, like something beautiful that is introduced like recently, I think a few weeks back. And we also have Einstein AI connector that will help you with different services. Okay. And there is so much more to actually explore. Apart from that, there is MCP agent operation support as well, using which you can connect with different MCP servers. You can create your servers, you can connect with your clients, and there is so much more that you can build or use case with it. Once you're done, let me just add in a simple logger as well over here, just to complete our integration. Not complete exactly, but maybe a brief. Okay, let me add in some message as payload or hello world. Okay, I'll just put in payload. And this is kind of like a rough overview or brief. I mean, Mule application is kind of ready. So once you're done building Mule application, I have also had to show you different connectors. So apart from this connector, we have some core processors as well, like for batch processing, error handling, scopes, for each, for parallel each, all these things that you can use and build a proper integration. If you want to process your data weave and everything, the transform logical, you can have transform with JSON output that is already there for you. So you can write in your data view script here, like it's written. So that's a different language that you can use. So basically, that will be the only part where actually you have to write some code, and for that you now have LLMs to help you out, AI tools to help you out. Okay. And once it is done, once you're done building the application, you can just go ahead and you can run your application from here. Okay. Um, Debug your application. I'm not sure if this will run, but hopefully it should run unless it does not have any error because this was a super simple one. Let's see if it runs. Okay. It's going to take some time. And it will scan the project. You also need to have your GitHub repository, Git installed on your machine, also on your VS Code for you to have better access. Okay. So as you can see here, we already have some errors, but that's okay. You can troubleshoot as well while you're doing it. But what we can see next, the other features are we can go ahead and don't save. Okay. We can go ahead and we can make use of the Einstein for developer feature. That is a new feature as well. And you can ask the agent force if you want to help, if you want some help with the flow. Okay, authorization has failed. Definitely, I need to do some configuration for it. But usually, you would have got a chat box open using which you could have just asked the question like, give me a transformation or transform data with logic or some logic for which could fit well in your flow. And once you're done building the application, you can just deploy your application as well from here. You can select the business group as MuleSoft. You can select the deployment target, and it will go ahead and deploy your application to Cloud Hub. So that's all about the Anypoint Studio that you need to know. Once Anypoint Code Builder that you need to know. And once this is done, let's go back to, sorry. Okay, yeah, this one. So let's go back to our deck because we have a few more things to cover. You can create a 30 days free trial account on anypoint.mulesoft.com. And you can also use, if you want, if it expires, you can just go ahead and you can use the same email address and create a new account with different usernames. And that will be lasting for you like for 30 days. So you can just go ahead and create them. Uh, Other than that, you can learn MuleSoft on Trailhead. There are several modules that are present on Trailhead that you can make the most of. Okay. And yes, here are some resources. Like if you are interested in joining the MuleSoft community, you can scan this QR code where you'll and you can join the MuleSoft community on Slack where you'll get some resources, latest updates on the products, tools, technologies, everything that's happening in the community from our mentors, ambassadors, and you can join the vibrant community. Uh, Once it's done, yes. The one that I mentioned you in the previous, in the first introduction part. So I recently co-authored the book, and it's been actually 2.5, 3 years. So a second edition came out recently with latest updates and product updates about ACB, everything that is new. So it's available on Pact's website, or it's available on Amazon as well. Currently, you can avail some 25% off discount. There is no discount code as such, but there is a discount that is going on Amazon. So if you're interested, maybe you can just go to Amazon and just check out for the the book with the title MuleSoft for Salesforce Developers. Other than that, there is also another promotion that's going on that's available for all the titles that are available on Pact. So there are several Salesforce related book, and all the books you can just get it for 999 or for 4.99 when you buy like five or more. So you can add them to your Pacts account, and these will be like more like ebooks that are available for you. So that works. You can just read on the go. And if you'd like to connect with me, I'll be on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions around MuleSoft, your careers, or around integration, security, AI, feel free to like reach out to me on LinkedIn. And yes, I would love to connect with you. And with that, thank you so much for watching this entire session. And I hope you enjoyed it. And let's stay tuned for like further information. And thanks again. Thank you, Amit, for hosting me and having me here. It was a pleasure being with the Apex Hours community again.
And
Thanks a
thank
lot.
you, and thank you so much for joining us again and sharing your knowledge.
No problem. Happy to be here.